Hello and welcome to HRBC show called Let's Talk. So today we have the Honorable Shannon Kendrick, who's currently on the school board for Virginia Beach and is running again for school board in Virginia Beach.
Yes, hey
So
Nina.
welcome.
Hello. Thank you so very much for having me. I'm excited to be on this podcast today.
Awesome. So would you like to tell the people a little about yourself?
Oh, yes. I am, um, I'm a transplant here to the Virginia Beach area. I come from military family. I've been all over the place. I did a lot of work in this region. I came here in 2008, was at Regent University, ended up working for Congressman Scott Ridgell and did that for about 6 years. And that in that time, that's where I helped to start. Well, that's where I started the Hampton Roads Black Caucus because I saw that there was an opportunity and a need for everyone in the community to be advocates for the issues that are important to the Black community with educational advancement, economic development. There's so many things that people want to see us thrive in, and we wanted to bring people to the power, the people who make decisions, rather than voting once every 4 years for a president. There's power in knowing your local government because your local government's the one that's making all the decisions that impact your day-to-day lives. And so we wanted to provide access. And it's so wonderful to see that what we started in 2012 is still thriving. And you're part of that and making it thrive. I will tell you, the podcast was not in the vision. And it's so awesome to see how much it's developed and become even more large, further reaching, very successful and impactful. And so I'm very, very proud of everything Hampton Roads Black Caucus has become. I was also the senior vice president of the Hampton Roads Economic Development Alliance after working for Congressman Scott Ridgell. I brought jobs to the region. My job was to recruit and bring jobs to this region, understanding the workforce and the gaps and how we can fill those gaps. And then I started Kendrick Consulting Group with my MBA that I got from Regent, became a businesswoman, and very much enjoyed being a businesswoman, but then got an opportunity to go to the Peace Corps and serve as a director of strategic partnerships and intergovernmental affairs there at the federal level. And so came back here to Hampton Roads during the pandemic. It did not make sense to pay so much for an apartment in Washington, D.C., when I have a house here in the region. And I came back, and now I work for an amazing ministry called International Cooperating Ministries, ICM. We build churches and orphanages all over the world. And I work with making sure that people get to see the work that they're doing and how they're impacting lives. And so I wasn't planning on getting into politics again. When I left here, I left politics, but this opportunity came open, and I was called by several people in the community that there was an opening and there needs to be someone appointed to the role, and you should consider it because of all your experience in the region. I was also a professor at ITT Tech. I taught business law, economics, marketing. I loved that stuff. I did it for 3 years. It was awesome. But so I put my hat in the ring, Nina, and got selected for this awesome work. And I thought I would just finish this year and be done and go back to my life. But I was asked by our superintendent, to consider running because of my heart for the work that I do and the spirit I bring on the board. And my colleagues, I had some colleagues say, since you've come to the board, we're getting along, we're working together, we're getting things done. And, there's a tone of civility that is so different now that you're here. You work with everybody. You really should consider staying. And then I also saw the challenges and the problems that needed to be solved in our school district, but also my particular district, District 4, which has a good number of Title I schools, the Renaissance Academy, and other challenges. And it seems as though I don't want to say that my district's been overlooked, but they need a champion. My district needs a champion that will really be on the ground, working with the community, finding out what those specific needs are, and shining a light on them and raising awareness and getting solutions and problems solved. That's what I do. It's not about politics for me. It's about results. It's about executing. It's about making an impact, making a difference. And so that's why I decided to go ahead and stay and be crazy enough to run for office. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been great getting to know the community, visiting with people, and while being, so I'm working full time. I'm on the school board full time, and I'm running a campaign full time. So let's just say I've lost a lot of weight, which is a good thing. So again, I believe all things are working together for my good, but it's hard. It's a lot. It's really a lot, but I'm staying positive, and it's a great opportunity for me to try to make a difference, and I will make a difference. I have a proven track record of doing that. When I worked with Congressman Scott Ridgel, I learned about an amazing community in Virginia Beach called SeaTech. You've heard of SeaTech. A 200 plus year old historic African American, the oldest African American community in our country, never acknowledged, never recognized, and so much rich history. So I worked with my congressman to get him to recognize this amazing community and have it mentioned and entered into the Library of Congress, and also to have it recognized on the floor of Congress. So we got that done for our community. And just like I shined a light on a treasure in our city, I want to shine a light on the treasure that we have in Virginia Beach, my district, our school system. So that's why I'm doing this.
Okay. So now I have a few questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes, let's go.
All right. So your site says putting our children's future first. What does that mean?
Well, it's like I was warned before coming on the school board. I was told it is crazy. It's chaotic, it's dysfunctional. Are you sure you want to get involved in all of that? It's nuts. And even during the pandemic, all over the country, the school boards have just been going through it. Either, the members not getting along, or the parents upset and angry. And it's just been so politicized, our school system and our kids. And it's not about the politics. It's about our children and their families and putting their futures first. We're building an educational opportunity for them so that they can be successful, so that they can have opportunities, so that they can grow into adults that have thriving careers, whether that be in a 4-year college or doing a trade, but setting them up for as much opportunity as possible, for as many open doors for them to walk through. And it shouldn't be about anything other than preparing them to be globally competitive so that they can be all that they can be, and experience and have a great chance for success. So putting our children's futures first is just that. It's putting them first, not the politics, not anything else. We got to get away from all the dysfunction and get back to what it is to be a servant leader and being about the business of ensuring that our kids are well educated.
Okay. All right. How would you get the student to teacher ratio down?
Well, the student to teacher ratio situation, it has a lot to do with budgeting, our budgetary system. We have a committee of standards that works to establish how the classroom ratios are. And so I have recently been elected to becoming the chair of the legislative committee. I bring a lot of legislative experience, working in Congress, working in further in the federal level, local level. And now I'm on the Virginia African American Advisory Board for the Commonwealth of Virginia at the state level. And so I'm working with policy there as well. It's about putting policy forward and shaping our budget to where we can afford to, increase our amount of teachers that we hire, as well as, shift the classroom sizes so that we can have a smaller teacher to ratio experience, student teacher ratio experience.
Okay. So there was a racial incident at Kempsville High with the baseball team.
Yeah.
What would you have done differently if the parents had contacted you about it?
Immediately, what I wish was that the school board members knew about the situation earlier. Kempsville High School, I'm not the representative for Kempsville. However, if I had known about it sooner, I would have immediately gone to the superintendent, and I know that the superintendent would have acted on it as soon as he was made aware, as he did. As soon as he knew what was happening at that school, he went into action. The people who were responsible for allowing the horrible treatment of the student happen, they were held accountable. And when this was brought before us on the board, the question I had was, okay, the professor or the coaches that were involved and the people who were involved in that incident, the adults, yes, we're holding them accountable. But what about the students? The students, there needs to be some sort of record recorded as to what they did. And, they need to be held accountable as well. And so I was assured that they were. And I also was concerned about the students affected that experienced this horrible treatment, that they received the psychological, emotional support that they needed, because dealing with that kind of discrimination, torment, harassment, racism, that is something that has an impact on you for the rest of your life. So we need to ensure that the health and well-being of students that were impacted so severely by that we assume responsibility for caring for the children in that way.
I agree. So yeah, that was a concern because, we get to hear about the mistreatment of our children, and, we want to make sure that something's being done about that.
Absolutely. That there's no place for that in Virginia Beach City Public Schools at all. And our superintendent and the board and the administration was adamant about sending a message that cannot be tolerated on any level. It's just unfortunate that people feel like it's okay to allow that to a child, like in 2024.
Yeah.
Wild.
In the year of our Lord 2024,
right.
Still happening.
Yeah, and I believe that we've raised such a heightened sensitivity around that now that we definitely want people to think twice. And it's not just Black students, it's any student of any race or orientation, any protected class, or we don't want white students to feel like they are being bullied because of their race either, so it just shouldn't happen at all.
Yeah. So I just want to clarify, I don't want anybody to be bullied at all, not only about race, your clothes, whatever. We don't need that in our schools.
No,
So
we
my
don't.
so my next question is, how would you ensure that children of all races are equally represented by you?
Yes. So I I am a school board member that's accessible to our children, our parents, and I don't feel like I am in a position to miss any of our kids as
Mhm.
far as meeting their needs and ensuring that they're all represented, even even to the extent of, we have children that suffer from disabilities. They need representation, and we also have students who deal with socioeconomic disadvantages. What about them too? So it's more than just race, right? It's because I'm finding, since I've been on the board, there's a huge focus on the gifted children.
Mhm.
And there's also a focus on the children that are in the remedial category that, may have, for example, referral to go to Renaissance, the alternative school. So we've got this extreme, we've got that extreme, but we need to also focus on the children in the middle. And so that is something that I am always cognizant of, is ensuring that all of our children are getting the resources and the attention that they deserve, regardless of their race, regardless of their socioeconomic status, regardless of the disabilities that they might have. Um, every child matters, every single one. And, I'm especially sensitive with the children that go to my Title I schools. I'm very sensitive of their life situation before they even get to our schools. A lot of them they're in homes where mom or dad is always working to make ends meet,
Mhm.
and their parents might not be as available to come to the school board meeting or to be at the PTA meeting or to be as engaged as parents who don't live in my district, whose children don't go to Title I schools. And sometimes the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, it's true. The parents that are organizing and advocating and showing up and speaking about their concerns, letting their concerns be known, providing solutions, doing all this activism for the causes that they care about. Well, it definitely, you're going to pay attention to those things, but I'm trying to help the a good bulk of the parents that are in my district that don't have that time, opportunity to be at those meetings and to do those things. So I go to the community, I go to the churches, the community centers, as I'm knocking doors and meeting voters, they're telling me what's on their mind. And I'm giving out my card to everyone I see, everyone I know, and letting them know what servant leadership looks like, Lena. I
Okay.
am not in this role to be like, oh, look at me. I'm your school board member. I'm important. No, I'm in this role to represent you. And I think that a lot of voters and taxpayers forget that we are in position because you have us here to represent you. And so I love when I get an email, a phone call. Hey, Miss Kendrick, I have an issue with my child being bullied at school. I've reached out to the principal. Nothing's happened. My child keeps running into this. And if something doesn't happen, I'm worried. I'm concerned. What can you do? Can you help?
Mhm.
Absolutely, I can help. And I get to step in and make their lives a little easier and provide a safe environment for that child so that they don't have to escalate to their own devices on getting rid of the bully. So that's just one example. But yes, being able to be accessible and serving my community, I want to be that person that's on the ground doing that for them. It's so important.
Okay. All right. Now talk to me about school starting before Labor Day. What what's the reasoning? What's the thought process?
So, Virginia Beach City Public Schools wants to have a 180-day calendar for our kids. I believe we have the most instructional days out of all of the local schools in the Hampton Roads region.
Mhm.
And, I'm still learning the secret sauce. Could that be why we rank number one in the state for a lot of different categories? Why our school division does so well? Because we have those extra instructional days. I'm not exactly certain just yet if that's the cause, but I think it's due to the exceptional talented teachers that we have, and the different programs that we offer and the curriculum and a whole host of other things that we pour into for our division. But I know that that is the reasoning behind the date of starting on, say, August 26th rather than in Labor Day. I know that we have surveyed the parents to
Mhm.
get their view on when they would like their child to start school. I know that when we start August 26th, it gives more time for the kids to have a winter break, Christmas break. Um, but I think that we are looking at considering moving it to the Labor Day start after Labor Day. So, I mean, let me know what you have. You got my ear right now, Miss Nina. What is your preference?
Well, I'm always a fan of after Labor Day because we got things to do. We still got some vacationing to do.
That's right. Yeah, I really want my district to share with me and just everyone in the city of Virginia Beach, what their preference is. I think we really want to try to get it right. And I'm always shocked at how quickly the summer goes by and the kids are going back to school. Because I remember I was the commencement speaker for the fifth grade class for Betty F. Williams. And I remember, saluting them and congratulating them on graduating from fifth grade. And girl, I turn around and here they are going back to school. And I'm like, wait, what happened to the summer? It went by so quick. So I do think they might need a little more time, but I'm definitely open to advocate for what the parents want because, we want to make sure we deliver the right amount of instructional days, but also provide that family life balance too.
Okay. All right. So now, parents of children with special needs often feel not heard by their school districts. What would you do to help this problem?
Well, I kind of shared how I it is my mission to be ever accessible to our community as their school board member, and you know I would want to listen to them to find out how we can help to support their specific needs for their child because everyone's special needs um, are different. We do have a special ed advisory committee
Mhm.
that's on our school board.
Mhm.
And, I want to sit with them and also find out, about what the specialists are saying. We have specialists in place that serve our parents and their and their children in this area. So um, that is how I feel that they would feel heard, is
Okay.
that we're working with the specialists that we've hired to really engage us more and to let us know and report to us and share with us easily what is what the needs are, and they are through that committee that we have on our school board.
Okay. All right. So now, what are the top three things you hope to accomplish if elected?
Well, so before I ever got on the school board,
Okay.
um when I moved to Virginia Beach, I went. It was an election, and I went to go vote, and my precinct was Betty F. Williams. And I remember pulling up to the school thinking, how old is this school? This school looks incredibly old, and it is not representative of the schools that I've seen in our city. What's up with that? And so from the start, I've been very interested in learning how and working on how we can deliver a new school to Betty F. Williams, because have you been to Betty F. Williams, Nina?
No.
Okay. It's I've visited several times. You know, the floors are raising when it rains, it floods. I mean, there's the children are kind of it's they're piled on top of each other, you know, not actually, but it just there needs to be more space. And I've toured so many school buildings as in my congressional capacity closer to the oceanfront. And I'm like, how do we have a school this old with these type of facilities when we have so many other schools that are more modern? And so anyway, my one thing that I want to establish and I'm working on right now, last night at the school board session, they presented a pretty good plan that would put our students in Betty F. Williams in a better learning environment, and out of the old school into one of the other schools on the tri-campus with an extra wing added. One thing about the schools or the students that go to my schools and the tri-campus, they have 5 schools that they go to before they ever get to high school. They've got Diamond Springs Elementary, K through 1, Newtown Elementary, 2 through 3, and then Betty F. Williams, 4 through 5, Bayside 6, 6th grade campus, then Bayside Middle, 7th and 8th, and then Bayside High. That's a lot. Most children go to one elementary school. So I already talked about how at home they might be, you know, a lot of people who live in apartments go to the school. So they might move every few years because of apartment living, and then they've got to move every few years for school. It's a lot of movement. And I want to help to establish some stability for my babies, for our babies. And what we're looking at doing is potentially having a K through 2 and a 3 through 5, and eliminating the building, the Betty F. Williams building, and calling and causing the entire complex, now that it would be a bi-campus, maybe calling it the Betty F. Williams Learning Campus, or changing one of those schools because they're named after streets, Diamond Springs Street, you know, and Newtown. Those are roads. So we could potentially look at changing one of the names of those schools, but making sure that we honor the legacy of Betty F. Williams. Her family is still here in Virginia Beach. It's such a rich history. So I want to make sure that we, look at those options, because what was happening was the school board and the administration was looking at only funding Princess Anne High School and waiting to fund Betty F. Williams, which would have taken 20 years. 20 years. I said, no, we're not moving forward with this plan without Betty F. Williams being on the table. We have to do something. I get it. The inflation, the lack of resources, and no excuse. We have to provide a solution. And with this solution, we would be able to move our children quicker into a better learning facility, even faster than having to build a brand new building, which we don't have the funds to do. But we'd be able to get them in the new classrooms by 2026. And the Bayside 6 students, that campus, that's the worst of them all. They would be looking at going to the middle school, Bayside 7 and 8. So Anyway, I want to help to resolve that issue. Our children need a better learning facility. Betty F. Williams is in 1961 that school was built. So there's that. And then the second thing I want to work on is increasing the starting salary for our teachers. I've learned that in all of the Hampton Roads region, Virginia Beach City Public Schools ranks second to the bottom for starting pay for brand new teachers. That's not good for recruiting. That's not good for, uh, retention. So I want to work with the budget skills that I bring to the table, and making sure that we are more attractive to brand new teachers. We need to have them come to Virginia Beach City Public Schools. We got an excellent, wonderful division, but the cost of living to be in Virginia Beach, let's be real, it is higher than most, right? So we can't be paying the lowest of the low when the cost of living is the highest of the high. That just doesn't make sense. So we need to work, and our budget session is coming up, and that's a priority that I'm pushing forward. And I've spoken to a few of my colleagues on the board. That is a priority of many of us to ensure that we do something about that. So that's another area that I want to work on. And then parents have expressed to me that they're concerned about the referral process to Renaissance Academy. A lot of parents feel like their children are unfairly punished and, sent to the Renaissance Academy for the smallest things, having a bad emotional day, and, something was said that shouldn't have been said, and off they go. I want to look at the process for those referrals. And then I toured the Renaissance Academy last week, and I learned that, it's once students get there, it's very hard for them to return back to their home school because they have to, they might have been sent there for bad grades. I'm not sorry. They might have been sent there for bad behavior or for behavioral issues. But in order to get sent back to their home school, they have to have improved behavioral reports. They have to have exceptional grades. Their grades have to be possibly even higher than what they were before they came, and their attendance has to be exceptional. So you came in by one way, but in order for you to go back, you have to excel in 3 ways. Now, I'm all for making sure that our kids who come to Renaissance Academy, that they go back stronger, that they go back, if they were not doing so well in the subject in their home school. Yeah, I want to make sure that while they're at the Renaissance Academy, that we're honing in on where they're having difficulty, and we're strengthening them in that particular area so that when they do go back, they're going back strong. But I also don't want them to miss out on the homeschool experience because, there's a number of reasons why a student might not have perfect attendance. So, we really need to look at that. And I also understand, that we need to allow the administrators and the people that are at the Renaissance Academy have more say on students who they believe should go back, because talking to the principal and others, there's some students that they feel are ready to go back, but there's a group of a committee that decides based on the data if a child should go back. So I think there's some room there to kind of work through and learn how we could make those transitions more right. And I want to work with our administration as well as, the parents and the teachers and the leadership at Renaissance to do that, because I saw the tremendous commitment of the teachers and the administration at the Renaissance Academy. They really care and love our children, and they want what's best for them. And I'm also, hearing the kids, some children have said, I feel like I'm just being babysat. at Renaissance. I'm not sure I'm getting the learning experience that I should have. And so I asked about that, and I was able to see the AVID program, that they have in place, where they have the binders and they have the checklists, and they're, making sure that they're checking off certain type of different areas of study that they're excelling in and learning to master. And so, I think that's great. So they're doing some great things. And just like all of the City of Virginia Beach public schools, we're doing a lot of great things, but there's always areas of improvement. So I want to hone on that. And even last night, we learned about the SOL scores and where we ranked for 2023-2024 year. And we rank in some of the top. We're top in the entire state, right? But there's still some areas that show that some of our kids are regressing instead of, showing progress. And so, we're working to uncover and work through the causes of what is resulting in the backwards instead of the forwards. And so data is good, and we celebrate the great data, but when data also shows indicators of there being an area where there needs to be improvement, we need to focus on that too, and make sure that all of our kids, our special need kids, our African American children who are showing that they're struggling from the SOL tests, and the English learners, that we're bringing all of them up to where they need to be. So I'm definitely very much interested in that. But overall, yeah. So those are the three areas that I want to accomplish while I'm here. And of course, we have a lot of fiscal challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to bring my experience to bear in helping to solve those challenges.
Okay. So we have a YouTube question. They're asking, like, there is a fear of removing all African American history from the school system. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's something that we cannot allow to happen. African American history is American history. Point blank, period, the end. And we need to learn about the rich history of the African American people, the contributions that have been made to our country. I mean, just the inventions alone. Okay. I was frustrated that I didn't even get to learn about all the incredible things when I was in school that the African American community contributed. I mean, there's so much richness that we've contributed. And also, there is a dark past in our country, and we shouldn't pretend like that didn't happen. We need to tell the truth about where we've been, where we've come from, what we've overcome, and where we're going towards. And if you do not learn from history, the saying is there's parts about it that you can repeat. And we're stronger when when Americans are all American, so that, discrimination hurts our country. So we don't need to not include that history, because there's just too much that we've been through to not share it. It's important, and it's yes, it's very hurtful, but it shows, for me and you, it shows the tenacity of our people. It shows the triumph, the victory, and the ability to overcome even the worst of circumstances. Just even learning the history of historically Black colleges and universities. How, fresh out of slavery, did we build colleges and universities from pennies? Like, it's incredible. Black Wall Street. I mean, there's just so much that needs to be told, and we just cannot not share that.
Awesome. Well, you have someone who said they wanted to thank you for helping a friend with their child. So
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. like I said, I am here to serve everyone, and as I have time. I know there was a concern about my travel, but I've not missed one meeting. Committees. I'm not married. I don't have a family or a dog, so I'm very committed to serving. I know I want a dog so bad, but I got a fish. I got a fish, and my fish is cute. He's bad, but anyway, I love serving. I want to make a difference. I might not have children of my own, but these children in this city, they're my children. And I'm here to give my life to them. This is what I'm here to do right now. And I want to be here for them. So I'm very thankful that I get this opportunity.
Awesome. Well, I don't have any more questions. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people?
Yes, I would like to say that a lot of the challenges that we're facing as a school board right now, although, when I talk to people, they're like, okay, so you're running for school board. Are you a teacher? Did you teach K through 12? We have a great deal of we have a good amount of teachers, former teachers on our school board, and their contribution, their experience is very helpful in the decisions that, we're making, the challenges that we work to solve. But there's also challenges that are legislative in nature. Because the school board, we don't raise our own tax revenue. We're funded by the state. Nina, we're funded by the federal government. That means that there is a level of advocacy that has to take place, lobbying, if you will, to ensure that our school division gets the resources and the support that we need in order to run the division that we run at the standard that we run it at. And I've had well over a decade in working with the government, federal, state, and local. I have relationships at all levels of government on both sides of the aisle. And I want to be able to leverage those relationships to be able to pick up the phone and talk about an unfunded mandate or talk about a certain initiative or need that we're trying to accomplish, but we need support from state legislators in order for it to happen. That's what I bring to the table. And the fiscal challenges that we have, which there are a lot. I mean, we got 86 projects that we got to figure out how to fund. I know budgets. I know resource allocation. That's my background. I have an MBA. I bring those skills and that experience to the school board, and it's needed for such a time as this. Also, constituent services, 6 years and running a congressional district, Nina, with over 700,000 constituents, and it felt like half of them had my cell phone number. I mean, but that's what I do. It's constituent services, it's servant leadership, it's being there for them. That's what we need on our school board. And only I in my district who's running for this seat bring that experience. We have enough teachers. God bless my two challengers that are teachers. I respect their profession. One was a bureaucrat. She handled policy for student support. But, when I talk to the students in my district, they don't feel like, or the parents, they don't feel like their students have been as supported over these past few years. So, what were you doing is the question while you were in that role. So, but in any case, moving forward, where we're at today, I feel like I'm the right woman to bring what my district needs. And I'm going to fight for them. And also, people need to know that this is a special election. Whoever is elected in this role, they'll only have 2 years, not 4, just 2. And so 2 years is all I need. Give me 2 years. Give me 2 years and watch what I will do for you, Virginia Beach City Public Schools and District 4. Watch what I will do. 2 years, just give me 2. After 2, you can do whatever you want. If I'm doing well for you, reelect me, hire me again. But if I'm not, send me off, But I commit to being accessible, keeping civility and respect for my colleagues, making it about the children and the families, not about politics, and executing, solving problems, getting things done, and working for you. That's what it's about for me. This is my chance to make a difference, and this is what I want to do. Because I've done it before. I have a track record of doing it, and now I want to do it where it's needed most. So that's all.
Well, we just got another question snuck in. So someone says they have concern with the distance of the bus stops from the home for after school activity programs. Who do they contact to address that concern?
Yeah, so our transport, actually, you contact me, and I will work for you to connect you with our transportation office, but also our superintendent will help with, contact me. Send me an email at shannon.kendrick@vbcpsboard.com. So email me, or you can email school board. You can email the entire school board, but reach out to us. That's what we're here to do. We'll navigate through the administration to get your concern to the right person and to have them address it with the school board watching and watching that process the whole way through. So I'm so happy you asked that question. That's what we're here to do. Shannon.kendrick@vbcpsboard.com. Just email me.
Awesome.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Nina. This was great. I'm so happy I had a chance to finally get on your podcast.
Awesome. I'm glad you got to come too. So those are all the questions we got. I do have to make an announcement that I have not sent out the endorsement ballots yet. Don't be mad at me. I just want to let the people know that they have not went out yet, but they will. They're coming. I want to make sure that I have every single member. We had a lot of members join.
That's a good problem to have. That's a great problem to have.
So we had a lot of members join, and I really want to make sure that they are not excluded when it comes to this endorsement process. So it's coming, but it is not out yet. So you don't have to email me every day, people. Because once it's out, I promise I will get on here and I will let the world know in all our social medias, Facebook, not Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, X, even TikTok. It'll be out there. And I will let the world know that the endorsement ballots are out. We usually give you about a week to make your choices. And once that week is up, it's a wrap. So if you didn't get a ballot, I would need y'all to tell me then that you didn't get the ballot. Because once voting is closed, But that's all I got. And
please vote for me. Vote for me. Please vote for me.
I do appreciate you coming and letting us know all about you and what you stand for, what you're going to do, what you have done. Because I like people to have fully informed decisions, information when they make their decisions. And that is all I have for y'all. So bye.
All right. Thank you so very much for having me. And thanks everybody for listening. God bless.